So welcome to this week's episode of Leadership Sound Bites with Michelle and Samantha. It's not Tansy or Rocco. Both of them had conflicts. I mean, we've all got a lot of spinning plates, a lot going on. So Sam has been on the podcast before, and it was on the Power of Family. She's my daughter, also the CEO of Bliss Branding Agency. And so this week's topic is perfect to have Sam on because it's the power of your personal brand, or of having a personal brand. So let's just say the power of your personal brand. And so I'm going to kick us off with a quote, and then we'll come back and chat about it, because there's some interesting elements and aha moments for me when we were talking to be able to plan for today. So from Jeff Bezos, your brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. And so for me, it's about, yeah, I mean, and I'm sure we've all had it, to where you've got people that go, oh my God, great job, you're doing so wonderful. And then you walk out of the room and they're like, oh my God, that was terrible. Can you believe what you said? For me, when I think about that, it's the awareness that I need to make sure that the intention I had around the experience I'm going to create, whether it's, leadership development, I want to make sure people feel valued, or that I'm coming across as professional and knowledgeable and bringing value, aligns with how things are really landing. And that requires intentionality at a level up until, I'm going to say, the last 5 to 10 years, I really didn't pay attention to. So, Sam, welcome to the conversation. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on again. This is so exciting. So your personal brand, I love the quote by Jeff Bezos, just because your personal brand, unless you think you are a Instagram influencer or a YouTuber or someone who's just aggressively putting themselves out there, most people, clients, owners, leaders, they don't think they need to worry about their personal brand. So I hear a lot from clients, since my agency only does digital marketing, but do I need to do anything with my social media? Do you need to look at my Facebook? Do you, when you're building out their business's website? I don't need a website, do I? And these are all questions that entrepreneurs or leaders, doctors even, have had a lot contacting me, saying, do I need this? It's a very confusing question mark, because in your mind, you're thinking, I don't, right? Because I don't want to aggressively be this influencer out there. And so people write it off. And so your quote that you used is so amazingly important, because if you're not focusing on it, someone else is. Mm-hmm. And it is what it is today, right? And it's getting worse. So what I mean by that is, and I'll give a very funny example. We had a client that was in Northern California, his location, and he forgot to claim his location on Google. Okay, the business location, the pin on the map where people go and you GPS it. Well, someone had gone to that business. The person wanted to leave a review for the business. They lived in Southern California near LA. So they left a review for the business. And when you leave a review on Google, if you have forgotten as the owner to claim your own listing, the person can do it for you. Oh. So they left a review by LA because the Google pinned where that person was. And all of a sudden, this business now is popping up in LA. And that's there's no other location listed in Northern California. So I use this example a lot when talking about personal brand, because if you're not pinning your personal brand down, someone else will. And then all of a sudden, multiple calls, and I'm talking 2-3 years it took to fix this. Do you do this in LA? Are you open in LA? What are your hours? But
oh my God,
it's chaos. If you look at that as a leader or as a business owner, the chaos that can happen behind the scenes, if you're not pinning down your own personal brand, it's a lot. And for some reason, you might go to bed at night and just go, I wonder why my team isn't happy, or why aren't they growing, or why is my department, not responding how I want them to respond? When in reality, they've probably pinned you in LA, right? And you have no idea. Your personal brand is not a focus. So it brings me to that. And we can, I'll let you kind of respond back, because we'll comment in, I think, how very simple steps that we can start to follow to build that. And by the end, of us chatting, people go, I get it. That makes sense. Yes, I need to focus.
So thank you. The other one, my brain went a number of different directions when you were talking, by the way. The other one is, if you're not branding yourself, to your point, you can be sure others do it for you. So the client that, and that's unknown, I'm not sure who that's from. What came to mind for me, Sam, was actually when you talked about personal brand and social media, the things that we don't necessarily connect dots on is Facebook and our professional life, right? Because they're different, but they're really not different anymore, especially when the lines are blurred. So it's like, I can be, professionally dressed, go to work, do all the right stuff. If what I have going on Facebook doesn't align with that brand that I want, right? Unbeknownst to me, I could tarnish that reputation that I have, based on what's happening in social media or other platforms, or people are tagging in photos of things that you don't necessarily want to be tagged in.
Right.
But that's the other thing that comes to mind is the behavior, your brand, what you want to be known for, who you are, all that stuff. Are your actions and words and everything aligned to that and supporting it? And I think if you're not intentional around what it is, you could be damaging yourself in the background with things that are not aligned to where you believe you want to be.
Yeah, it's such a fine line what you hit on, and it's such an important topic. So first and foremost, when I'm talking to clients about their personal brand, it's one, what is your goal? Mm-hmm. Right? So they say, most of them, right? Because they're so busy. Everyone is so busy. They have no time. And they're like, well, I don't want another goal. I want to do something else. So, but when you think about your personal brand, you have to pin it on the map. You have to own this. You have to be the captain of your own ship. You have to own your personal brand. And it has to. This is not even a choice. If you're a leader, entrepreneur, if you're an employee that wants to get promoted, it's not a choice. You have to pin down your personal brand. So one is, what is the goal? So if you say, you know what, my goal is one day I want to manage the coffee shop. My goal is one day I want to get to that $1 million gross profit as an entrepreneur. One day I want to lead a department of 20 people where I do a survey and 80% of them are happy. Mm-hmm. Right. So what is that goal? So first and foremost, you define the goal. So that's step number one. And the goal, when I'm talking to people about it, I really just initially, because it's this mammoth project, you want to go off of, what does your gut say right now? So if I just said, Michelle, if you had no personal brand, right? Because when I Google you right now, what comes up is your personal brand. Just so everyone knows, if nothing comes up, that's also your personal brand, right? So there's problems on both fronts if you're not pinning it down. So if I said, Michelle, let's just say you never focused on your personal brand, what's your goal? What is your, just right now, what does your gut say? What is your gut telling you?
You're asking me my goal for my personal brand. Well, I want to make sure that the stuff that comes up aligns with what my mission is, which is around developing capabilities of leaders. So those individual touch points that they create are better experiences people they engage with. So basically, perfect. Creating leaders to be the best leader they can be.
Perfect. Okay. So
world peace.
Helping create world leaders. Is my world peace. Helping leaders grow. Okay. So if you simplify, okay, that's your goal. So very, very simply, step number two, very simply, is what do you want to be known for? And these are mostly adjective driven. Okay. So what do I want to be known for? She was a very prompt but caring coach. She was very in-depth but emotionally intelligent coach. So these are things, what would you like someone to describe you as once you leave the room? Okay, so this is number two in your personal brand. One, what's your goal? Two, what do you want people to say to you when you leave the room? For me, for my personal brand and my agency, I want to leave the room and people go, wow, she had a lot of energy and she was so positive and I got a lot out of it. Mm-hmm. So energetic, positive, but knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Every time I'm presenting myself in whatever I do, those are my three adjectives. So if I think on Facebook, am I going to post something of probably me sleeping on the couch and my caption would say, fell asleep during favorite Sleepless in Seattle movie? That is really not aligning with my brand. And if you go on my Facebook page, people would think that it's like every moment of a second I have that's not relaxing, we're out doing something, you're going to a festival, you're doing this.
Yeah.
This is literally just me exuding my personal brand, overflowing onto Facebook. But I am conscious about what I'm posting. I'm very conscious about that. Now, I have clients that say that they want to be known for their aggressive political stances.
Oh, okay.
And knowledgeable is a big one for entrepreneurs. They get a lot of the time. They want to mix it up. Okay, these people that like the political stuff. So when you're very confident in that, I am a firm believer that as a human species, we have a baseline of kindness and we can connect with whoever we want. And they can have their own views. I think that's fine. Healthy debate is gorgeous. It's beautiful. So if you want to be known for that, your friends around you probably know, here comes Sam, like for Sam, right? But you're known for that and you want that.
Well, and what I'm hearing from you is that there's some level of predictability after a while, right? That it's like, to your point, if you had in your posts where you're at festivals or you're at events or you're going whatever, but if you had something in there to where it was completely off, and I would say off brand, people they would wonder what happened. Is she okay?
That's correct.
What's going on in her world? When I think about that, and I honestly, people listening, it's like I honestly have never thought about in the detail that you did, but I would think about when you're talking about it, I could react a different way because there's certain things that, okay, I expect you to post that stuff or I expect whatever. But if you were to go off brand, air quote, it would be noticeable. And in the back of my mind, as long as I've known you your entire life, right? When those things come up, you're like, what's going on? This isn't typical.
Correct. And so let's take it a step away real quick from personal brand. The goal of your personal brand, just high level, is to build trust with everyone around you. Yeah. Right? You're building trust as leaders. We want to build trust with those around us, et cetera. But if I was off brand, okay, and I just started posting pictures of puppies or adoption or quotes that other people say about children and their families, this very caring and loving, not that I'm not loving, it would be like, right, it's a little off because that's not me. But you go on some people's Facebooks and all they're doing is trying to raise money for adoption agencies, or they're posting quotes of families, or that is them, whether they know it or not, right? Yeah. So these adjectives, and typically I tell clients to try to get at least 3 that you want to be known for when you're leaving the room. And this is your quick 5-minute meetings with your team. Boom, you're in, you're out. Your personal brand at any moment in time is always going to be exuding. So if you're in a bad mood, you just want to make sure that you're telling the group, not in the best mood. So I might not be as positive and energetic as I normally am. So you can preface, because they're going to stop trusting, if, like you just said, start to become off. Yeah. Now they're not coming to you as often. So you're prefacing when you're off personal brand, because you can be, but you're very honest about that. Yeah. Okay. So that's number 2, is what do we want to be known for? Number 3 is you're defining your audience. So a lot of the times now you're going to lose money as a business, and you're also going to lose money in your personal brand, meaning if you want to get promoted, you're not going to go as fast. If you want more clients, you're not going to get as more, because you're not defining who your personal brand is going to relate to. A lot of people think that their personal brand is about themselves. It's not. It's actually about the other person. It's about who you're helping and helping them feel trusting about you. So when I say, okay, great, who would you like this new product to go to, men or women? Both. I'm like, that was not an option. People are so scared to define down their audience and who their audience is with their personal brand. So when I say, okay, they say, you know what? women. I really tend more towards women because they're really decision makers when it comes to medical aesthetic decisions, right? Even though men also get these activities done. Let's say, for example, great, women. Okay, what women, right? Are they younger? Are they older? Are they, what kind of income? And this gets into that target marketing. But in your personal brand, if you were to be in a room of 20 people, so right now, visually, if you're listening, okay, I've got a room in my head and I have 20 people in there. Okay, these 20 people, are they mostly men or are they mostly women? Okay, are they tall? Are they short? Are they colorful clothing? Are they in business clothing? Right. So as you do this activity where you start to narrow down, now for me, I'm in a room with people that are business owners, but they're dressed casually. So typically it's a small business. So this is my audience, is this small business. I myself am more casual. I would rather not be in a suit every single day. And other clients that I talk to, that if I'm not in a suit and I walk out that door, that's not me today, right? You have to be you. So when you're defining your audience, then is when you pick your social platform to focus on. Okay, so if you are typically in more of a corporate environment, then my personal brand I'm going to build on social media is through LinkedIn. What am I sharing that's helpful to my target audience on LinkedIn? Me personally, what am I going to be sharing? Me personally, what am I commenting on? Which typically you'd be commenting on other profiles that are within your audience. Now you're really building your personal brand. I mean, now you're like on a roll. Okay, you've defined 1, 2, 3. You got into your audience, right?
Well, I went, and so the audience 4 went into 5 of the social platform once you identify audience. So are we on 5 or am I just counting wrong?
I love that. So no, you're not counting wrong. So 1, we're figuring out our goal. 2, what do you want to be known for? 3, your audience. Okay. Because you brought up social, I brought that as an example. Yes, you don't want to do that. Okay, 3, audience. So 4 now is really fun, and you get to write your mission statement. So companies always, sound like fun. Companies have their own mission statements. And as people that want to develop in life personally, you should also have a mission statement. So this mission, I'll read you mine. So my mission statement is, my name is Samantha. I'm an owner of a digital marketing agency. I work with owners across different industries to plan, organize, and direct innovative marketing campaigns that engage customers while also increasing brand loyalty. So it's extensive, but when I worked back in the day on creating my personal brand with a mentor that I had, I have this and I have this mission statement. So this is my mission statement. So there's mission statements for doctors, mission statements for you as business, executive business coaches. When you come up with this mission statement, it can be simple and it can just include your goal. What do you want to be known for, your adjectives, right? And your audience. And so my audience is, working with entrepreneurs and small business owners. In my mission statement. And then magic. This is it. Last step, number 5, is you build your online presence. Okay. So that's really the decision where you say, do I have a personal branding website? Are you already an owner? Then that's your about page. What are you saying about yourself on your about page, right? Building that out, more credibility, more stuff that relates to your personal brand. If mine is positive, energetic, and knowledgeable, I want to showcase places, maybe my speaking engagements that I've been at. Maybe I'm in front of a room, someone films me because it's a lot of energy. Maybe a photo of me in front of a lot of people. That is a lot of energy. Not a lot of single, headshots, just me. That's probably not going to exude my personal brand. So I have, on my own about page, places that I've been, things that I've been speaking at, have I been featured in the news, things like that on mine, just to kind of show this out. And then is your social media. So 1, do I want to build a website for myself? Or 2, do I want to really extend my social media presence? And this is after really you've defined what this personal brand is, because at that point is when people, like you just said, I start to expect what you're going to be posting on your profile. I have an expectation. Once you have an audience that expects things from you, you are winning. This is beautiful, because they trust you. They know they're going to, oh gosh, your profile's so fun. I always see everyone smiling, or wow, this is where I'm going to come to because they're always posting the latest news about marine life. Okay. I know I can come to her profile, something about the whales, something about, it can be anything, but it should be consistent because that's you and your personal brand. Okay.
So, you know, what comes to mind for me, Sam, is that if I think about leaders who are, you know, W-2 employees within organizations, they're most likely, and I'm coming from a place of ignorance when I think about it, most likely not going to necessarily have a website. But when I think about social media presence, to your point, LinkedIn is a prime platform to build stuff out. Facebook is another one, but LinkedIn is the one that I think about more when I think about business. And so for that, it's like, you know, are you reaching out to connections? Do you have, you know, your talents and skills on there? Are you contributing, to your point, with posts or comments on other people? So I think that is a social media platform that, if you think about personal branding, that would support the personal brand.
Correct. And LinkedIn is so underutilized by W-2 employees. So for example, if I didn't own an agency and I'm working in my environment as the marketing director for the department, as an example, I would use LinkedIn to actually, let's say, have that quote about Jeff Bezos. I would put that quote up there, and then I'd show a picture of me with my interns, and we just did a meeting about your personal brand. And I'm posting that photo, not like it's Facebook, but I'm professionally saying how important this is. Here's a quote from Jeff Bezos, me and the team. So I'm building my personal brand. So a big miss that people have on LinkedIn is they're not showing your personal brand in a professional environment. Okay, so if you are not in a professional environment and you're just reposting what other people are saying or sharing articles, your personal brand, whether you like it or not, is very visual.
Yeah.
So you want to place yourself in your environment inside of your personal brand, okay, on LinkedIn. Now, can you do a bunch of other stuff on LinkedIn? Of course. But if you have a goal of just once a week, at least it's you on that page, or something where maybe it's a shot of you from the side and you're in a meeting, or you're always just very aware as a W-2 employee, how am I taking advantage of this, especially if the goal is a promotion? Because you want to show the professionalism of you at work inside of your person, right? You as your personal brand. Now,
I think part of it too, when it comes to mind, is it reinforces or provides a little bit more insights into your thinking, who you are, what you're aligning to, that people may not pick up on any other way. It's like, unless they're looking at this. And for me, it takes it from this flat file, if you will, this very one-dimensional thing, to all of a sudden I've got more dimensions and understanding who people are as the posting and the comments and the quotes. And you're like, okay, I agree with that. I align with that. I'm going to repost and reshare this.
Correct. And just as a baseline level as well, it's extremely smart. So if you say Mark Zuckerberg, what he does is he turns around and he's speaking at an event, he has his phone and everyone's behind him. But before he does that, he says into the microphone, need to show the world who's here today, right? It's not about him, but it is him. That is the personal brand that he's about to post. It's genius. But this is that next little step people don't talk about. So when I'm speaking at a Chamber of Commerce event, for example, literally have the guy in the back of the room at the end, I'm really sorry, but you're the guinea pig today. And can you take a picture of me when I'm up there speaking?
Right.
Is me just very purposefully saying, if I don't control my own personal brand, no one else is going to do it for me. I hope the newspaper's here today to take a picture of me. No, you're the captain of your own ship, right? It's that important. The other thing though, if, I have clients that say, I'm just not in a professional environment every day. I work from home, or how do I do it? The other way to build is through what other people say about you. So you should actively 2-3 times a month, try to go get recommendations on LinkedIn from other people. So this is something I actually do monthly. And even when I get new clients, or I've been working with a client for a while, I'll reach out to them on LinkedIn. Hey, can you shoot over a recommendation for me on LinkedIn? And they're going to describe me. And all their descriptions are, wow, Sam's so, vivacious on this. And she said, your personal brand is being spoken about through someone else's language, right? Which
Yeah.
is what you want as well. So if you can't build it through photos, you're still posting on LinkedIn, you're still doing your thing, just make sure that you're racked and stacked on recommendations. And again, captain of your own ship. If you're trying to get one a month, every single year, at the end of 3 years, you get 36 recommendations. That's insane. Someone's going to go,
Yeah.
if I don't have Michelle as, my executive coach, look
Yeah.
at all these. These are professional people explaining your personal brand through text. Okay. So that's in a nutshell.
I have my homework now for what I need to do.
Yep. Yeah. It's not getting less anymore. Your personal brand is now becoming even more important.
Yeah.
Because of how much online is picked up, because of how much people do work from home now. So how are you as a professional? You really need to get this out there in unique ways, and you have to define that.
Well, and for me, when I think about that too, it's like since COVID, the world's different pre and post COVID. And so a lot of organizations let go of brick and mortar buildings. And so to your point, people are permanently remote. And so the opportunities that you have to be in the room with someone face to face, getting, again, if you think about it from the one-dimensional experience that people have of you just on a picture or whatever else, when you get those opportunities to bring the rest of the story of who you are to that engagement. And I have to agree, it's through photos, because there's a reaction to those, or quotes that happen that connect with people and experiences they've had. It's like, how do you do that in such a way that's meaningful? And then all of a sudden you're no longer just a picture or a name, but there's another dimension to the experience that people have of you.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. It's really important. Oddly enough, the other day, I don't even know why, I think I was searching for something very quickly, but I Googled myself, and which I don't do often, but people should, to keep up on your personal brand.
I don't think I've ever Googled myself.
Yeah. So, your name, comma, what company you work for, your name, comma, maybe a company you work for in the past. And there was a video of me doing a training on visual brand, actually for companies. And it was from the side. It was a very bad angle, but it was a full hour and a half presentation, and someone had put it on YouTube.
What?
And yeah. So, I thought to myself, okay, that's cool, right? You might think, wow, it's just a terrible angle of it, but it's so visual, and you want to say to yourself, how can I use this?
Yeah.
Right? Where can I use this? How can I use this?
Yeah.
If one of your adjectives is to be lighthearted, or that person's funny, or, you're putting that on social media, don't mind the angle. I'm as large as a whale, but if you're listening to the content, this is exciting speaking at X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So if you're Googling yourself and people have posted things about these are things to use.
Yeah.
Especially if we work from home, those moments where other people are doing our job for us, and, pinning down the location in LA, we're like, take that, move it back up to where you want it.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. So I literally, people are going to go, really? It's your daughter. You didn't know this stuff. We don't talk about personal brand. We talk about the grandkids.
Yes. Yes, we do.
or other things. So I appreciate this time, Sam. So thank you very much. What are one or two things on the topic of the power of your personal brand that you want people to walk away with?
I think one, just knowing that if you're not the captain of your own ship, someone's going to drive your ship for you. I think that was your second quote that you said. And number two, that it doesn't take much to change the direction of where you want your personal brand to go, especially if you haven't focused on it at all. Right. So just say if you don't exercise ever, just start walking a flight of stairs, right? Once a week, you walk it, all of a sudden it gets easier and easier. And it doesn't take much to change the direction. And it does such a mammoth amount for your career, your clients. It's so much. It's so much.
I'm going to piggyback on that because it came to mind for me. I mean, I literally wrote like 2 pages of notes. To piggyback on that, I think what it is don't get overwhelmed by the fact that there's 2 pages of notes or whatever it may be. Start somewhere. And for me, I think the somewhere is, set a goal for myself, identify the audience, figure out the adjectives that I want to lead people with, define a platform, that I want to start working on. But I think the place to start that I never thought of before, Google yourself, find out what's out there, find out, if there, and I never have. I don't know if it's fear of the unknown. I don't know.
I didn't think about it. Yeah.
But I think for me, along with the rest of it, I think it's a good place to start. To your point, it's a data point around what current state is, so you can identify future state and what you want. But I think it's an important thing to understand where we are today.
Yeah. So I will say, just to wrap up, my funniest calls that I get in the last probably 4 years, I've been just full-time with my agency, is from doctors. So they'll Google themselves and they'll go, right, even if it's grade or from health grades, or it's just not the first thing that they wanted to see when they Google themselves, and they don't typically Google themselves. And so now immediately, yesterday, they want a website, they want to talk to them, they want to
you got to fix this, it's bad.
And so it's very important that when you realize what is out there, because you haven't been captaining your own ship, right, on the personal branding front, that it's not detrimental. This is not, you're going to try tomorrow, something happens. But it's just a nice focus to say, okay, well, what would you like to see?
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's just, it's so powerful. So powerful.
Yeah, I agree. So the moral of the story is, don't freak out when you see.
No need to freak out.
When you see what you see. And to your point too, if nothing comes up, what is that saying about you and the life that you've led so far, right? Where everything is on social media,
right?
Some platform that's out there. Thank you. I appreciate this.
Yes, it's been so fun.
Yeah. So, and we will obviously continue to chat. Like
I hope so.
All the time. So this has been Leadership Soundbites with Michelle and Sam. And please like, share, subscribe on This is the Power of Your Personal Brand. And until next time, thank you.
Bye.